Our next guest is one of the most polarizing figures in the welterweight division. Currently on a sweet 5-fight win streak, he takes on Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 225 for the interim welterweight belt. The #1 public enemy in Brazil, Colby Covington, welcome back to Submission Ready. And look at that, he's on the couch, comfortable and ready to go. How are you today, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having the king of Brazil and the GOAT of the welterweight division back.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. And we see you've got a sweet wine bottle in the background, so it's always a pleasure to have you back on the show, Colby. And, of course, another wild weekend in your life. Everybody saw you had a bit of an altercation with Charles Bennett at CamSoda Legends. Before we even get into it, talk us through it. How did it come about that you were at that event?
I got asked to be at that event from my friend Icy Mike and a guy named Bob, the owners of CamSoda. So, I went out to kind of support, and see what they got going on in the pro scene and, had a good time, hanging out with some porn stars, hanging out with chicks. That's what I do best. I got a different girl for each day of the week. So, I got to make sure I'm getting out there and meeting new chicks.
Wow, you're a little bit like Craig David. Tell us, what happened with this altercation with Charles Bennett? How did it all start? People have all these different crazy rumors. Apparently, some of it has to do with some kind of spoilers with Avengers. Others think there's some kind of beef between teams. How did it all happen?
The thing is, I'm the puppet master, and these are all my little puppets. So, of course, everybody's mad at the king. They want what I have. So, I don't pay attention to them. I don't got nothing to say about him. I'm not going to give him a spotlight or even talk about him because he's nothing. He doesn't mean anything to me, and he's just another nobody trying to make his name off me. So, I don't really got anything to say about that scrub.
Can I ask what was he saying to you when he got in your face? There's that video. It looked like you sort of, he threw the punch and you sort of pushed him away to get him back. What was he upset about?
Mike Perry was in the cage. He was running his mouth saying some shit. So I was kind of jawing back at him, telling him he's a bum. He just got knocked out by a guy I knocked out. So, I was letting Perry know the truth, that I am the king of the welterweight division. I'm fighting for big money. You're about to be fighting in Indian casinos by the end of the year. You're not even going to have a UFC job. And then all of a sudden, this dude comes up behind me, Crazy Horse, and he's fucking talking all this shit, saying he's going to fuck me up. So, I pushed his ass out of my face. And then he tried to swing a punch, and I dodged it because I have impeccable, reflexes. And, that was that. But, the guy's faker than fake. Oh, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm much respect. He's just looking for attention like you guys are giving him right now.
Wait, so he apologized to you afterwards? Did you see him afterwards?
Yeah, he tried to apologize to me and my coach, Mike Brown. He was like, oh, much respect, dude. Nothing but respect, It was just a publicity stunt. Look at you guys talking about it, He's trying to get back in the spotlight. The guy's a bum. He lost to an amateur that night. So, he's just looking for a way to keep his name out there and keep it hot.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it seems like, like you mentioned, #1 public enemy. We saw what happened with the Vadum incident. Do you feel like you have to kind of watch your back or look over your shoulder when you go to places now?
Yeah, for sure. I got to watch my back. All these freaking idiots out there that are faker than fake, I keep it real and they have a problem with that. So, that's what comes with the territory. I'm a super villain now. So, I got private security armed with me that I'll be at all events. It's my bad that I didn't have my security team with them at this event. I should have, but, this is a lesson learned over the weekend, and it's not going to happen again. Anytime I go to an event from now on, I will have armed security guards with me.
Who are the security? I heard you talking about how Dan Lambert sort of set it up. I'm wondering how much something like that costs, like a massive team, and who are they? Are they fighters? Are they sort of, hired professional security guards?
They're ex-Marines and
Wow.
former military-type people. So, it's not a cheap ticket to get these guys to come with me and travel with me and go to places. But good thing my manager and agent, Dan Lambert, has all the money in the world. So that guy's wealthier than wealthy. So, the price tag is a cheap cost to protect the king.
Of course, and you got to make sure that you get to UFC 225 in one piece to have that fight. But two people that definitely do love you, of course, are the girls that keep popping up in your Twitter and Instagram feed. Our listeners will, without a doubt, know that they are the porn stars, Kelsey Monroe and Sophia Leone. How did you meet them and sort of team up with them?
I met him through my buddy Icy Mike.
Who is Icy Mike? He sounds like he's a porn producer or porn director. Is he?
Yeah, he's one of the top porn producers in the business, man. That guy's super successful. He's reinvented the game, man. That guy's that guy's insane, man. If you look him up, man, that guy's super super smart and intelligent dude, and he's made a good business for himself and made a good life.
I guess a lot of people would be wondering, what's it like to spend a day with a couple of porn stars? Take us into that. What's it like hanging out with them? What's it, I suppose, a day like in the life of the king, Colby Covington?
Oh, it's amazing. There's something about hanging out with porn stars that's different than hanging out with regular chicks, because when you're hanging out with regular chicks, there's just so many emotions and drama and all this negative energy that I don't need before my title fight. So, when I'm hanging out with porn stars, it's just, we have our fun. We're living the dream. We're having, there's never a dull moment. And, and then that's that, there's no, after we get done having sex, there's no like, oh, you need to treat me good, take me to dinner, wine and dine me, this and that. No, it's just, it's on to the next day. I get to get back to training and focusing on my world title fight. They get back to their business and we go about our business. So, it's good, man. I'm living the dream out here, the American dream. I am raw American steel and twisted sex appeal.
You're like the Charlie Sheen of MMA. I remember Charlie Sheen sort of talking about like his relationship with the porn stars. I mean, maybe minus the hard drugs and all that kind of stuff. Any fun stories you can share with us, Colby?
I mean, I had a foursome the other night. I never thought I would be in a foursome.
Did you really?
That was awesome. Yeah, and I'm not talking with any dudes. I'm talking with 3 different chicks. So
wow,
that was awesome. I had a couple threesomes in my day, with 2 different chicks, but 3 different chicks, man, that was insane, man. They were all fucking working. It was amazing.
And it was with the porn stars. So they had the high quality girls as well.
Yeah, these aren't just any porn stars. These are the cream of the crop. King Colby doesn't mess around. When I go for the porn stars, I go for the girls that are the high ups, man. I'm not going for the little peasants, man. I'm aiming high. So, these are celebrities and super famous porn stars. So, I enjoy having good weekends with them every now and then.
It's interesting as well because it's almost like a part of your training camp. I imagine having 3 women at once, there must be quite a workout.
That's the thing. Like, people don't realize. They think I'm not focused. They're like, oh, you need to focus on RDA and your title fight in Chicago. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm having sex with 3 different porn stars. Do you know what type of cardio that takes? Because you can't just give them 10 minutes. Man, you got to be putting it in and pounding that and laying the pipe for like a good hour. So, I mean, I'm constantly moving and flexing my testosterone on them for an hour straight. I mean, dude, this is the best cardio I could ever get for 5 rounds. RDA is not going to last past 3.
Yeah, wow. And you got to be very limber for that as well, so you get in the flexibility. This is going to be like the best version of Colby we've seen yet. But looking at the actual fight, the rumors were this fight was originally supposed to be in Brazil for UFC 224, which is what, like a week or 2 away. Was that ever official? Did you ever get a contract saying UFC 224, and did you ever go as far as signing that contract?
Yeah, my contract was signed and sealed for UFC 224 in Brazil, but as soon as I got to that press conference in Brooklyn, they decided to switch it up, with all the Conor fiasco. They said that, they didn't want this great, glorious day in American history to happen in Brazil. They wanted it to happen on U.S. soil, so the filthy animals in Brazil didn't deserve it.
Are you partly disappointed that it's in Brazil? I mean, we imagine it would be, if someone like you, sort of fun to go into enemy territory and possibly become champion there in front of them.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I mean, first off, I got the biggest steel balls in the organization. No one would be willing to put their life on the line to go back there, but that's just how crazy I am upstairs. I'm crazy, man. I'm certified OG in this game, and I'll go anywhere. I don't care if I had death threats. I had a couple bounties on my head. A couple of the favelas and the gang leaders put a bounty on my head. I heard it was like 50 grand, and that's like people would lose their life over there to get 50 grand. So, I didn't care, man. I wanted to, I'm an entertainment show. I wanted to go over there and give the crowd and the fans around the world something to cry about. It was going to be the Snowflake Armageddon.
What did the UFC think of that when they heard these bounties? I mean, obviously they moved the fight to a different event, but did you get any frantic calls from the UFC about that?
Yeah, I think as soon as they realized that there was bounties on my head and people in Brazil in that third world dump are like literally would put their life on the line to kill me, I think they realized that it probably wasn't smart for me to go back there. And the security guards that were going to be teaming up with me, I mean, and the UFC was going to provide me with their own security. I don't think they wanted to put those guys' lives in jeopardy as well. So, they finally made the right choice. They wanted this glorious moment in American history to be on U.S. soil. And what better way to go than to go from where Michael Jordan used to play basketball in the United Center? because I am cut from the same cloth as Michael Jordan, and I'm going to dunk my nuts on RDA's face on June 9th live on pay-per-view.
Wow. Tell us, what was your reaction when you found out that you'd actually be fighting RDA? Because I know you've been on this show a few times before. You've been calling him out for a really, really long time. Were you surprised that he actually agreed to fight you?
I wasn't surprised because, I had been chasing him for a while. We were supposed to fight in Singapore like a year ago, and he didn't want to fight me on that. So they ended up putting me up higher on the card. They put him on the prelims because he was ducking me. And then, I've been campaigning for this fight for a while. This fight's made sense for a long time. But, the reason I'm not surprised is because they had to sweeten the pot. I knew they're giving it pay-per-view points to come out and fight me. And he wasn't going to fight me unless he was getting pay-per-view points. But, at the end of the day, Dana knows what's best for business, and I am best for business. So, they had to make this fight come together because little Woodley is being a little crybaby gossip bitch in Hollywood, gossiping about the Kardashians on TMZ. So, he's not fighting anytime soon. So they had to get King Colby, and they had to get RDA to finally man up, and they had to sweeten the pot for him to actually sign the dotted line.
He's obviously got his own agenda as well. He said that he wants to expose you at UFC 225. And he basically claimed that, in his opinion, you act differently when the cameras are on versus when the cameras are off, referencing the press conference. What did you make of that comments and of those comments, and obviously him saying that he wants to expose you?
It's the same RDA that we've come to know. He's a fake dude. I mean, look at his followers. I mean, he paid to buy all these followers, these fake followers. So, I mean, everything the guy says, you can't trust or believe anything the guy says. The guy's full of shit, I mean, he's from Brazil. That's for one thing, Everybody knows that all those people lie and cheat on their wives and cheat on their taxes over there anyways. So, but, those comments, I don't really take too much into those comments. This is who I am. I've never changed. This is who I've always been. This is just me. So if you don't like me for who I am, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
What do you think are the chances that you get into his head and sort of affect him mentally going into this fight?
I'm already inside his head. I can see at the press conference, he's trying to wear a Boomerang shirt to get under my skin. That doesn't affect me. That's the same Boomerang that came back around and knocked Werdum unconscious in London from Volkov. So who knows if Werdum's even woken up from that nap. I don't think Werdum's woken up from that nap yet. So, RDA, I'm definitely in his head, and he's going to fight emotional on June 9th, and he's going to try and prove a point for his Brazilian country. But, he's just going to get the same effect that Damian Maia and Dong Hum Kim got. I'm going to delete his legacy, and he's going to be motionless in the octagon on June 9th.
I almost feel like this rivalry is a lot more... This is probably your most intense one thus far, a lot more intense than the Damian Maia one, because that was somewhat one-sided. Damian didn't really want to play the game. RDA is at least trying to play the game. Do you like that? And what are you sort of expecting from Fight Week? Obviously, you're a professional, but what do you think it's going to be like, being around him, being at Media Day? I imagine you guys will probably do a press conference. There's going to be the weigh-ins, the stare-downs, all that kinds of things. Are you looking forward to that as much almost as to the fight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I already looked in his soul down in Brooklyn at that press conference. I can see how scared he is, and you guys are going to find out the truth on June 9th. I mean, the guy's this shit in his pants. He knows that his career is coming to an end on June 9th, and I'm going to be the guy to do it. So, it's going to be fun. I enjoy the process, man. I love the promotion. I love this stuff, man. I'm a marketing machine, so I enjoy getting out there for Fight Week, looking at him in his little pussy eyes and seeing how scared he is, and I will expose him for what he really is on June 9th.
What do you think about the fact that this is for the interim title? Obviously, a lot of people are criticizing it because Woodley's not out for that long, but then, you had all these issues trying to get together with him to fight him, and it was a little bit murky as to when he was going to come back. What do you think about the criticisms that people say, oh, there's no need for an interim title?
This isn't for the interim. This is for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. I mean, go look at Tyron Woodley's track record. I mean, he claims his biggest claim right now is, oh, I defended my title 4 times in a year. Go look at Sherdog right now and tell me how many times he's fought in the last 3 years. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's only fought 4 times in 3 years. So he's averaging 1 fight a year. Okay, that's a joke. That's not what a champion is. He's out here faking shoulder injuries. I mean, if he was really hurt, why didn't he get the shoulder surgery right after Damian Maia? And then if he's really hurt, why was he ducking me at UFC 219 in Vegas when they had to put Cyborg? He was ready to fight Nate Diaz, and they offered him me, Colby Covington. Dana White said, hey, you and Colby for the undisputed crown at UFC 219 in Vegas at the end of the year show. Oh, no, I'm not fighting Colby. I'll fight Nate Diaz, but I'm not fighting Colby. Nate Diaz, that guy's a lightweight. He's an inactive. He's not even fighting. Why are you trying to fight him? Oh, if I'm not fighting Nate Diaz, I'm not fighting Colby. I'm getting shoulder surgery. So, you know, all these people that are little snowflakes are just mad that I'm fighting for a title and I'm getting paid a buttload of money to fight for the title. So, you know, that's why the criticism coming. You know, if I saved a baby from a burning building, they would still find a way to criticize me.
It's funny that you mentioned the whole Nate Diaz saga, because just this morning there are rumors that Nate Diaz will be coming possibly back at UFC 227, and one of the names that has sort of been thrown around is Tyron Woodley. So what would your reaction be if you became the interim champion, but then Woodley still went on to fight Nate Diaz instead of defend his title against you?
Everybody knows I'm the draw now. I don't need Woodley, man. Woodley's gonna be begging for me. He's got baby mamas to pay off. He ain't just got one baby mama, so he's got bills to pay. So he's going to be begging for Colby Chaos Covington. But I don't need Tyron Woodley, man. I could fight Khabib. I could fight GSP. I go fight Whitaker, man. I'm a big welterweight. You know, I can make 55 or middleweight. So I'm not worried about Tyron Woodley. If he fights Nate Diaz, you know, he might as well just leave that undisputed belt at my feet because he knows he's scared of me. We've trained together. I left him unconscious in the gym. He doesn't want to tell the world the real story why he doesn't want to fight me. So, you know, I'm not chasing Tyron Woodley. That little bitch is going to be chasing me.
What is that going to mean?
And about those reports, that's fake news.
What will that mean for you? Sort of, you know, beating Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 225 and having that belt wrapped around your waist. Have you thought much about that moment?
No, I haven't really thought too much of it because, you know, that's what I expect. You know, it's not going to be a big deal because, you know, if it's a big deal, then that means you didn't expect to do it. So, you know, I expect to do it. So it's not going to be a big deal for me. It's just going to be another day at the office.
It's interesting that you mentioned Khabib's name before as well, because it looks like he might be eyeing a move to 170 in the future. Not in his next fight, but in the near future. We know he struggles with his weight cuts. Have you been impressed with his run lately? And how would you see his style translating into your division with so many grapplers and wrestlers, really good grapplers and wrestlers like yourself?
Yeah, I haven't been impressed. I mean, he couldn't finish a real estate agent. That's just sad as it is. So, you know, his style is one-dimensional. He can't strike. He doesn't have jiu-jitsu. All he does is go forward with pressure and try and take guys down. You're not taking down an all-American wrestler like myself. I don't get taken down. You have a better shot to hit the lottery than take me down. So, you know, if Khabib comes to welterweight, he's going to get sent down and he's going to get a swirly, just like all the other nerds. No nerd is safe right now. I'm taking lunch money. I'm giving wedgies and swirlies. It's Nerd Bash 2018.
Would you want that Khabib fight, especially just because of how big of a name he is at the moment? You know, he's sort of got a lot of momentum, and just to sort of prove your point about, you know, him not belonging at 170 as well.
Yeah, I would love that fight. You know, I'd go fight him in Russia. I'd love to go fight him in Russia. I think.
Imagine the security you'd need in Russia.
Yeah, it's a good thing I got armed security guards and Dan Lambert to pay for him. So, you know, I'd love to go to Russia. I'd expose him. Honestly, he's one-dimensional, and you know, his style. It's not going to fit well for welterweight. You know, it's good for lightweights. He can overpower those guys, but you're not going to overpower welterweights. You have to have different skill set up at this weight division.
All right. Well, we're excited for UFC 225. Give us your prediction quickly. How do you think this fight finishes between you and RDA?
Spoiler alert, June 9th at the United Center. RDA is going to get left in a stretcher, second round, KO. He's leaving the octagon in a stretcher, and I'm leaving on my private jet back to South Beach to all my hoes and all my beautiful women in South Beach with 10 pounds of gold around King Colby's waist.
I love it. I love it. He is the king of spoilers. Star Wars, Avengers, Infinity War, and now the spoiler for UFC 225. Guys, don't forget to check out Colby Covington take out Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 225 June 9th. It's going to be June 10th here in Australia and New Zealand because of the time difference. It's going to be for the interim UFC welterweight belt. And of course, don't forget to follow the man, if you dare, at Colby Cov MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Great follow. A lot of fun stuff and very, very active and a lot of fun pictures. If you like pictures of not only Colby Covington, but also porn stars, let's be honest, who doesn't? There's another reason to follow. So Colby, thank you so much for your time, man. Always appreciate it. And good luck at UFC 225.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.